guys, besides sitting around working on customs, with everything going on in the world, they want us to quarantine. We gotta stay home. Well, with all that staying home, you can only work on customs and do your honeydew list for only so long. I mean, never mind she's been asking you to do all those things on the list for the last 6 months, and you'll do it when you got time. Well, what else are we doing? Well, some of us work on the car, clean up the yard. I like to sit and watch movies. So I thought I'd share, as Hot Wheels fans, obviously we're car guys to an extent, what are some of the coolest car movies that you guys have been watching? There's been so many of them, from early movies, later movies, all kinds of styles and genres of cars. So I figured I'd share with you my top 10 favorites that I like. They might not necessarily match your list, but here's what I like for one reason or another. So let's get started. My first one, now these are in no particular order, mind you. These are just 10 I grabbed off the shelf that I always love to watch. Obviously, Back to the Future. Who doesn't love this movie? This thing's a classic. All three of them are just as good, in my opinion. And let's be honest, the star of the show isn't Doc and Marty, it's the DeLorean. Now, what many people may not know is the first drafts of this movie, they weren't going to use a DeLorean for the time machine. The idea for the time machine was to have a nuclear reaction go off near a lead-lined refrigerator. As crazy as that sounds, can you imagine the movie with that instead of the car? It'd have been a whole different movie. But, I mean, it's still a cool movie. I love the movie, the concept. I think this is one of the first movies that made time travel easily explainable and fun. Otherwise, most of the movies that did time travel were really confusing. And like I said, who doesn't love a DeLorean? What a lot of people didn't know, a little fun fact, was in the Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull movie, they showed Harrison Ford, or Indy, when the town got the nuclear explosion test, he hopped in a lead-lined refrigerator. And that was Steven Spielberg's nod to Back to the Future, what it was originally going to be. So that's a little fun fact for you. Anyway, number 2, Fast and the Furious, the original one. Now, the acting wasn't so great, but it was a fun little movie. And, you know, I love the first one. The second one's not bad. The third one I like because it's the Tokyo Drift one, because I've been to Japan, have a lot of friends in Japan. And I love their culture and the country and the cars. So that's really cool. To me, they kind of went downhill after that. They're totally different movies. Now it's a super spy thriller kind of thing. And that's okay, but the first one's always my favorite. And it was pretty cool because it came at a time when I was into the tuner scene for many years before the movie came out. And I thought, hey man, a really cool movie with cars that guys like me drove. At the time, I had a nice decked out tuner car with custom paint and all that stuff. Here it is. Yeah, that's what I drove. I was really proud of that car. It was pretty quick. It was fun. But anyway, so the first Fast and Furious movie for cars like that is pretty cool. But, okay. Number 3, Gone in 60 Seconds. Now, the first one was a lot better as far as car scenes, I think. The second story, this one here with Nicolas Cage, was a lot more refined and more entertaining. But if you really want a really crazy car chase scene, check out the original Gone in 60 Seconds. They had like the car chase scene at the movie in the yellow Mustang was like half the movie. It was extremely long. And they crashed up everything. And the guy did all his own stunts too. But this was just as good. It's got a nice variety of all kinds of cars. Really cool movie. I love it. Number 4. Here's a cheesy one for you from the 80s. The Wraith. How many people have seen this one? Now, this one is pretty much a mecca of all kinds of cars just racing each other. And it's kind of a horror type thriller. They kill the guy. He comes back as an alien car. And the car was kind of cool. You know, a lot of people always wonder, well, what kind of car is that? It's pretty cool. Well, it was a Chrysler Turbo Interceptor funded by PPG through Chrysler. And it was painted with that new purplish color and all that. So it was just a basic kit car. But it's still pretty cool movie. It has its cheesy moments, of course, but what do you expect? It's an 80s movie. So it's pretty fun. It's a fun little movie. Number 5, halfway through the list. Now, I know you guys have all seen this one. Mad Max. And who doesn't love the Interceptor at the end? Even though it wasn't really called the Interceptor, it was just the black on black. The yellow car was called the Interceptor. But that's okay. We don't care. We all grew up thinking that was the Interceptor. It was a really cool movie. I love the yellow, red, white, and blue cop cars. And I'm a Mel Gibson fan of this movie. Road Warrior was just as cool, almost, in a wholly different apocalyptic way. And the black Interceptor, you know, it kind of changed, got a little dirty, got the fuel tanks on it. It's a pretty cool movie. If you ain't got nothing to do, this is a good cheesy movie to watch on a Saturday afternoon or a Sunday like today. So I like that one. The rest of them after part 2, I wasn't such a fan of. Thunderdome didn't even have the Carver in there too much. Actually, I don't think it had it at all. The new one, Fury Road, was kind of a, you know, almost a remake of the movie, so to speak. It was okay. But, you know, the first 2 were the best. And I like this one the most. Number 6. Smokey and the Bandit. Y'all know you like this one. My wife hates this one because she can't stand Burt Reynolds. She hates it with a passion. So I make sure at least once a year, me and my sons, we get together, we watch this movie. But who, you know, this came out in the 70s. Who didn't like a black Trans Am running around tearing stuff up through the countryside? It was a cool little movie. Part 2 wasn't so good. And part 3 with the black and gold trim newer 80s Firebird with a fish or a shark on top. They literally jumped the shark with that one. The first one's the best. And this is a pretty fun movie. I love this one. And who doesn't love that Eastbound and Down song there by Jerry Reed? It's a good one. Number 7. Here's another one. Another Burt Reynolds. Cannonball Run. Now, I don't know how many times as a 7, 8-year-old, well, maybe 10 years old, showing my age, I didn't rewind this and keep watching the beginning with the Lamborghini on it. That was like the coolest scene. I know they sped up the video and all that. It's still fun. And all the different cars in here. And who doesn't love Jackie Chan and that little black import riding at night with the night vision goggles? I mean, that's just ridiculous. The whole thing was cool. But lots of different variety of cars and cheesy little story. And what a lot of people don't know, in this movie, him and Dom DeLuise drove the ambulance. Turns out that was a true story. They actually did drive an ambulance and got pulled over by the police and lied and said their patient couldn't be flown because cysts on her walls at elevated heights. Look it up on YouTube. You'll see a video telling a story about the real ambulance that did run the Cannonball just like that. That's where they got it from the story. So that was pretty cool they put that in there. Number 8. This is cheesy. But my parents got this when we got a beta way back when I was a kid. The Lovebug. Who doesn't love a VW bug that was running around beating Ferraris and stuff? It's a fun little movie. It's an older one. It's a classic. You can't beat it. I haven't seen too many other ones. Just the second one, I think it was Herbie Rides Again. But this was always a favorite. I love this one. And number 9. You know this was going to be on the list. Some people say this had the greatest car chase scene in all of movie history. Yeah, I kind of agree with that. I think Gone in 60 Seconds might have beat that. But still, this is a really cool movie. And I have a 67 Mustang, just like a 68. So I'm a fan of that look. And who doesn't love a Charger running around chasing a Mustang through the streets of San Francisco? That's pure stunt work there. And Steve McQueen is the man. So Bullet is definitely up there. I got to admit, I've never actually watched the movie all the way through. I watch it for a little while. It's pretty cool. Then I hurry up and I fast forward to the car chase scene because it's just too cool, man. So there you go. And finally, at the end of our list, number 10, The Italian Job. Now, a lot of people don't know this was a remake. The first one had Michael Caine in it. It was pretty cool. They had the old vintage Mini Coopers. Then they had the newer one with Mark Wahlberg, and they used the newer Mini Coopers, steel and the gold. Now, the newer Mini Cooper seen in the new one, it's pretty cool. But the best one is Michael Caine's version of the original. That's a really cool movie. You got to check that out. So anyway, that's my top 10 of crazy car movies. If you're sitting around getting quarantined, you ain't got nothing to do, trying to avoid that honeydew list, you know, throw on one of them, check it out. Let me know in the comments what kind of movies that you like that are car related. Maybe I got something that I haven't seen there, and I'll check it out. Maybe I'll like it. Give me the thumbs up if you really like this video. And don't forget, subscribe if you like it. And we got a lot of new cool stuff coming up. Thanks, man. We'll be seeing you around.